She's a female doctor. A lady doctor. If female nurses are the angels in white, then are female doctors, perhaps, goddesses in white. She seems to be around my age, 35, or maybe a bit older. Not bad looking at all. No, far from bad. She had features that were rather appealing to men. However, when I addressed her as doctor, there seems to be no problem at all, she said, without even a hint of a smile, expressionless, scanning through the X-ray and MRI images displayed on the monitor in a rather brusque manner. Using an ambulance. Doctor, the ambulance was called by the other party. Jess, take care. She seemed more like a goddess in black than in white. My name is David. I had to go to the city hall that day, so I took the afternoon off from work. On my way back from the city hall, I encountered an elementary school boy playing ball around the area, and he ran into the street chasing the ball. There happened to be a large, thick tree, creating a blind spot for the cars on the street. The traffic wasn't too heavy. The cars on the road were driving fast. I stopped and watched the flow of cars and the boy. This is bad, dangerous, he's going to get hit. I reflexively ran to stop the boy. The sound of a car's sudden braking was heard. Almost simultaneously, I lifted the boy up. Ouch! The hood of the abruptly stopped car hit around my waist. The man driving the car rushed to me in panic. I said I was fine as it was just a slight hit, but the man, completely flustered, called an ambulance. And thus, I was transported to this hospital by an ambulance for the first time in my life. There were no visible injuries, but I underwent X-ray and MRI examinations. While waiting for the results, the boy whom I had shielded was brought to the hospital by his mother. The boy must have been scolded severely by his mother. With a face about to cry, he apologized to me repeatedly, asking if I was hurt. I'm fine, I'm indestructible, but remember, never run onto the road again. Understand, the action I took in the spur of the moment prevented a major accident, and I'm being thanked for it. With that thought, the pain in my waist where the cars had grazed felt like nothing, and I was in high spirits. Then a young female nurse who came to call me for the examination results said to the boy, "You're lucky, saved by a handsome man," and gave me a smiling face. Truly an angel in white. It seemed like there were countless twinkling stars around her smile. Right after that, came that goddess in black. There were absolutely no twinkling stars, and it seemed like she had thick, dark storm clouds on her back as she treated me coldly. "David, about this weekend?" "Not again. I told you I'm good." I declined an invitation from my junior at work, who is obsessed with events for singles. About 6 months ago, this junior asked me to join him as he didn't want to go alone, and I went to an event for singles just once. I wasn't interested to begin with, and indeed, I didn't meet anyone special. It wasn't fun at all. I, too, think it's about time to settle down since I'm getting older. But I would prefer a more natural encounter. Indeed, I yearned for meeting someone, but I had no desire to attend another event for singles. Besides, at this time, I had someone on my mind. The female doctor who was cold to me. Her aloofness only piqued my interest more. I couldn't help but dwell on it. Well, I don't think it's likely, but in the case of a traffic accident, symptoms like whiplash sometimes appear later, so if that happens, make sure to get checked out at some orthopedic clinic. I remembered her words as I touched the part of my waist where the cars had grazed. It was still a bit painful. All right, it's not completely healed. In that case, why not go and get it checked? Time is of the essence. The next day, I went to see her for a consultation. "Oh, the one from the other day, are you not feeling well?" the amiable nurse addressed me. I managed a wry smile and asked her the important question. is the doctor who's been seeing me married. If you're talking about Dr. Emma, she's single. Why do you ask? I did a silent fist pump and said I was just curious since a female orthopedic surgeon is rare. I was sweating, hoping she didn't see through my ulterior motive. Just then, my name, David, was called. When I entered the consultation room, she was checking my medical record on the computer. What brings you here? My waist is still hurting from the accident. She looked at the record again. It shouldn't be a big deal. She casually suggested another checkup if I was still worried. I hesitated, and she remarked, "Is this your first traffic accident? Some patients overreact, especially the timid ones." She was half smirking, a bit condescending. I got a little annoyed. "But it still hurts. I can prescribe some painkillers." She stared at me as she said this. "It really isn't a big deal. If you don't believe me, why not get a second opinion from another hospital?" I had no choice but to back off. That weekend, I was at my regular bar, having a drink with the bar owner. I wonder if female doctors usually marry other doctors. The bar owner stopped chopping and looked puzzled. I continued, partly talking to myself. They earn more, are smarter, and have strong personalities and high pride. They're out of reach for an average office worker like me. As I muttered, the bar owner asked, "So, you want to date a female doctor?" "No, not at all. It's just a general opinion. Just a general opinion." As I responded, I realized my mind was full of thoughts about her. She doesn't give me the time of day, treating me with nothing but coldness. But the colder I'm treated, the more the fire within me burns. Am I the type of guy who likes such treatment? As I'm pondering this, my phone starts ringing. It's a picture message from my junior who loves matchmaking parties. He sent me photos he took at a matchmaking party he attended that day. Seeing how desperate he was to get married made me feel pitiful, realizing I'm not that different. After seeing the photos he sent, suddenly the idea of drinking alone at the bar seemed less appealing. It had just gone past 7 in the evening, but I paid the bill and headed home. Then, just as I left the bar, a woman's high-pitched voice called out to me. I looked in the direction of the voice and saw a young girl smiling at me. I didn't know who she was. I thought she was calling out to me, but I looked around to see if it was someone else. There was no one else standing still. "How are you feeling?" Then, I finally recognized her. It was that friendly nurse. "Oh, I hardly recognized you. I thought you were just some girl." A white nurse coat is powerful. It can turn any girl into an angel. She also lived around here, so we walked together, making small talk. "By the way, is Dr. Emma always like that?" I brought her up. "Dr. Emma, like what?" "Just between us. She seems kind of aloof and hard to approach." To her surprise, I was the first patient to describe her that way. Not only is she an excellent doctor, but she's also friendly and popular among the patients. I listened while nodding, but I just couldn't accept it. "Well, I'm going this way." I watched the angel without a white uniform walking away. So she's only cold to me. Could it be she's playing hard to get? My thought process was unusually optimistic. The pain in my back disappeared before I finished the painkillers she prescribed, and there was no new symptom. So, I lost the chance to visit her clinic. However, I noticed the chain on my seldom-used bike, parked at the apartment complex, had wristed. I decided to ride it for a test and pedaled for the first time in a while. The chain made some noise, but there were no serious issues. The bigger problem was the flat tires. And the brakes wasn't working well, so I decided to take it to a bike shop. I rode the bike. I reached an intersection. The light was changing from green to yellow. The bike shop was just across the intersection. I was too lazy to stop, so I pedaled into the intersection.